Welcome. In this tutorial we'll be going over how to analyze a financial detail report. You've likely received an email from your financial analyst providing you your cloud portfolios for your specific department. To access the financial detail report, click on the folder, click on the appropriate fiscal year that you are inquiring about. Financial detail reports are also available for historical years on an annual basis. And the financial detail report that's most current in this particular instance would be December. The components would be the sum of the accounts, funds, projects, and flexes, but we'll be looking at the actual report. So what I like to do is download this just to be able to see a clean copy. After the PDF is opened, we can take a look here and see any inquiries that we might have had from our CAL planning report. In terms of reviewing the numbers here for November and analyzing what data is available, I'm noticing an anomaly here in in-state travel non-airfare. Now I'd be curious to be able to see whether that is something that occurred year over year or whether this is something that is a one-time anomaly for this specific year. So we can do this by using our historical analysis report. By going in and accessing it, to access your historical analysis report, you can be able to download your account, since this is what we were reviewing, and open it. Once it's opened, we can go to the account analyzer function upon reviewing the account we want to inquire about. In this case it's 73213. Enter in that number, hit enter, and there we can be able to see that the last time we've had kind of a large spike within November occurred in 2008-2009. Looking at the first 6 months, it looks like the only time that we've had a relatively large charge was in August, in which case it was $2,000, and that was fiscal year 13-14. So this makes me want to look a little bit further and be able to see what sort of detail I can get out of it. So from here, I would go to my transaction verification report, since the issue I'm acquiring about is related to supplies and expense versus payroll, in which case if a payroll anomaly was present, I would go and use a payroll report, and I'll open up the database. So the default views you're going to have are vendors and journals. Vendors represent the external sources of expenses, and journals are internal sources of expenses, or revenues. Taking a look at the vendors section, I'm going to filter by hitting Control F, which is Control Find, and I'm going to look for 57213. As you can see, it goes and highlights that area. Now let's say I really just want to focus on this number year over year. What I will do is I will right-click, and after I've right-clicked, I will go to Filter and Keep Only Selected Items. Now that I've done that, I have the ability to see the months in which this has been used, as well as the detail provided. So I can see here that there was travel for an employee in this department, as well as a hotel accommodation for 4. And looking at this, I can be able to determine this is the information I was looking for. Let's say I went to the journal section and had a similar instance. I'll show you how the journal section can be helpful for determining whether it was an internal or external charge. Control F again, it still should be highlighted. I'll find Next, and here I can be able to right-click and once again filter. In doing so, I have the ability to get this level of detail. So it looks like an accrual was set up, and this was probably travel that was planned for in advance, given the fact that there was an accounts payable accrual set up. In doing so, I can see that this is not an internal charge, but actually an external charge, and this was the correct data I was looking for. Let's take another hypothetical and be able to say, I want to see what happened in this particular account year over year. By being able to leverage these default views, we can actually go and change from an accounting period. Let's say the months aren't important to you, but you want to know annual totals. And we'll remove this field and drag your fiscal year over. There, in a snapshot, you can be able to see your annual totals spent through this particular account year over year and the corresponding detail associated with it. Just like you were using in your historical analysis, you have the ability to see annual expenditures per account, fund, project, and flex, and have the ability to hone in on the actual details associated with